Good morning and welcome to our weekly men's volleyball press conference. We will start the press conference with an opening statement from head coach Knipe, and then we'll open it up to questions from the media.
Yeah, as we go into this week, we shift back into Big West play. I think last weekend was great for us with the home series, home and away series with SC. I thought coming back from the Hawaii trip and dealing with all the travel and dealing with some stuff like you normally do after two physical matches, I thought the guys did a great job, especially being ready for Friday night. And then we talk all the time about the second match isn't going to have to, it's not going to feel the same, and that certainly was the case. It was just a bizarre match. Obviously, we played really well in the first set, which I was happy with, and then it was kind of close in the set, and we got some guys dinged up. We had some guys that were a little fatigued, that we moved some pieces in and out, and then it was just a really bizarre match. Also, as far as the rhythm of the match, I think there was probably 8 or 9 challenges between both teams that kept slowing down the pace, and the challenges took a long time to get to the correct decision. And it just and not throwing that out there good or bad, it's just the rhythm and the pace of the match was really odd. So getting to the point in the third set where we thought we had won it and lose it on a challenge, or lose that point on a challenge, and we're back to 24-all instead of winning 25-23, and then find a way to win that set was great by our guys. And then got a lot of production out of our bench. I thought Nathan Harlan was spectacular. I thought Grant Maroki was great off the bench. I thought all our serving subs that normally come in were great. And I thought the standout serving sub was Connor Bloom at the end of the fourth set. And it's just, we got some guys that are doing some really good things in our gym right now that a lot of people maybe haven't seen a ton of in matches, that I'm feeling more and more comfortable with all the time of just expanding kind of our core group of who's getting minutes in games. We also went double sub, got Island in there. He did a good job, and that first time around, I thought Nato Dickinson did a great job getting in there, get a couple of good block touches that turned into points. So like I said, we're expanding, and that's a good thing. And then we get back into this week with back into Big West play, and this will be the next 3 weekends, and then it's the Big West tournament. So it'll be a little bit of that Xerox approach to 3 weeks, try to keep it 1 week at a time. And we have to handle our prep for the week. We have to handle our prep for our opponent. But we also have to find ways to expand and grow as a team in both sides of the ball the next couple of weeks. So we're prepared to use that later on in the season.
Coach, with your win on Saturday, you accumulated 386 career wins in your career, making you the all-time winningest men's volleyball coach at Long Beach State, surpassing your former coach, Ray Rattel. Can you just talk a little bit about what that feels like and what that does for this program?
Yeah, it means you've been here a long time. You bring up Coach Rattel, and that's a big number, and Coach did a great job when he was here, and it's quite an honor to win that match that puts you over the hump to be the all-time, because he was here a long time. And when you think about when you were a player and you were assistant coach, you're thinking, and that's a lot, right? It's a lot of matches. That's a lot of travel. That's a lot of recruiting. That's a lot that goes into that. But yeah, it's an honor. I don't take it lightly, but in reality, it's much more about the people that were involved in that. Because yeah, the wins attached to me, but those are team wins. Those are staff wins, those are program wins. So it makes you think a little bit. You get a little nostalgic, I think, at it. You think about some of the really important pieces along the way, and that is, I think I've always tried really hard to hire really, really good people, and so my staffs over the years have been really good. So you think of, whether it be the Greg Vernoviches, the Nat Prossers, and Tyler Hildebrands, and of course Andy Reid's been the constant, the Scott Tazinskis and McKay Smith and Nick Amato, and I know I'm probably leaving somebody out, but most importantly Nick McRae, who's been just amazing for us and a big part of our recruiting and our success. And then you also think about some of the most important pieces of all this, and that is a huge thank you to Coach Rattel for one, hiring me as his assistant and putting me in the position to be the associate head coach and then to be the head coach without him reaching out to me to come back to the program. To be honest with you, I don't even know if I'm in coaching right now, because it wasn't something at that time I was searching to do, but I certainly had a passion to be part of Long Beach State, and I think he recognized that. So a huge thank you to Coach. And then you think of, a couple of the other really important pieces, and that is, your athletic director. So Bill Schumard, who was the athletic director who hired me, who took a chance on a very young head coach in a very storied program with zero head coaching Division I experience, and not only hired me, but mentored me through a lot of those years. And to this day, I talk to Bill a lot. To just recently, to Andy Fee, who just took our men's volleyball program and a lot of the sports programs around here to a completely different level with excitement and energy and passion and his connectiveness to the athletes and the staff. And then lastly, I think that I had the great pleasure to get hired while Bob Maxon, President Maxon, was our president. Him and his great wife and Sylvia and Armando, their whole crew up there, they were so supportive of what we've done and what I've done. They were a big part of bringing Final Fours to Long Beach for the women and for the men's program back in the early 2000s, and something that we've continued to do. And then to President Conley, who's been personally amazing to myself and to my program, and so supportive and so calm about the way she handles everything. But someone that you can reach out to and communicate with at a level very unlike talking to a university president, and who reaches out to us constantly to let us know of the support she has for our program and the appreciation she has for what we're trying to do. And then lastly, I think that to the entire LB Nation, like the sellouts at the Pyramid, the energy in this building we've been able to build up, that's magical. To the longtime season ticket holders who were watching me as a player in the gold mine, that are still watching volleyball in the Pyramid, that's huge. And then ultimately probably to my wife and my family, of dealing with being a coach's wife and a coach's family, which means that you share your family time with the world, and I appreciate that. So, it's an honor. There's no doubt, especially in this program, with the success this program has had, and with the great coaches that have come before me, and the great players that have come through this program. It's an absolute honor.
You mentioned the sellout crowds and all of that. USC just had one of their biggest crowds of the year earlier this year as well. You may have noticed their crowd when you went there this past weekend. But if you can talk about just the growth of volleyball in general, of men's volleyball this year, if you've noticed any.
Yeah, men's volleyball is just such an amazing game to watch, and I think it wins people over every year by the fact that once they come and watch it in person and they see the size and the physicality of the athletes up front, it's hard not to come back. And I think that there's a lot of good things happening across the entire country. The sport is growing and growing and growing, especially at the grassroots level, and even at the D3, D2. We'd like to see a little bit more expansion at the D1, but we are going to 12 teams in the NCAA tournament next year, which means there's growth, because there's no way we're going to get 12 teams if we're not having more AQs that are coming from new conferences. What I noticed though across the country is, the grassroots growing is bringing also more excitement to all of the venues that you go to. You're seeing bigger crowds. You're seeing, for the first time, I mean not the first time this year, but I mean in this last many years. In athletic departments investing into the event itself, instead of opening up the gym door and in your auxiliary gym and letting your men's volleyball team play, of actually realizing we're getting crowds. This is good. It's being streamed on ESPN Plus. There's access to see it worldwide. We get reached out to all the time from players from all over the world because of obviously a big Instagram account that we have, but more importantly, the access to see those games online. And so, yeah, it's exciting. And you see these kids that reach out to you that know nothing about NCAA volleyball, but they know the teams, or they know your team, or they know your players. And so it's exciting times. It's exciting times. But the in-person crowds, I think that what we've been able to do and what some of the local teams have been able to do crowd-wise, and some of the matchups bring locally, and, what was just happening when we were in Hawaii, that's, as I've said it multiple times this year, those are the moments that you remember as a student athlete, and that's what you dream of. You dream of playing in big matches with big crowds, with big rewards on the table ahead of you, and I just think that they deserve it. I think that men's volleyball players deserve that atmosphere, and a lot of it is that the department itself in different universities across the country, if you're going to have it, you might as well support it, especially if there's people that will come. It doesn't have to be, an old school playbook that only a couple of sports are the ones that you go after. And I think that's been proof here, So, but, the last couple of years, the people in our marketing department over there, at least for the last 10 years, have done a tremendous job of pushing men's volleyball, knowing that we can get crowds and excitement, and we have the venue and certainly the schedule to make it exciting. And then now I'm not saying marketing is easier, but hopefully we're helping them make that job a little bit easier. Hopefully we can collaborate with them to put on a good show.
And then this weekend is in La Jolla first, and that's a place that can give Big West teams a lot of trouble. It doesn't matter if they have a new coach or whatnot, but your comments on maybe the challenge of La Jolla this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we have a lot of respect for every team in the Big West, and so it doesn't matter if it's San Diego or whoever we're going to play. It's a Big West opponent, which means they're going to be good. They have some depth. They're well coached, and there's only 6 teams, so you're playing a 10-match Big West schedule, so every match does matter, and everyone plays like that, and that's how it's been since the inception of our conference, in 18. So, yeah, absolutely, we expect good matches both nights, and we'll be prepped throughout the week to take care of the most important series of the year, which is this one, because it's this week.
You mentioned the rhythm of the last match at USC. I noticed your hitting percentage going up and down throughout that match, but in general, it just seems like your hitting percentage is always pretty high amongst the nation. What do you account that for?
Well, a tremendous amount of effort all season long, from way back into the fall on our offense, and I think a lot of it will come with the ability to pass the ball, which by and large this season we've done a really good job at. I thought offensively Aiden's done a great job of being good at dispersing the offense all around, and front row and back row and different guys, and then having the ability to have fresh legs with some guys, having the ability to have guys in positions for the whole year like Simon in the middle, and then having the guys we have in our gym right now, which we haven't necessarily had the same depth the last couple of years, that we can actually run really, really competitive two-sided drills that feel very similar to the matches we play. That helps us be the ability to play Long Beach State volleyball instead of rise to the occasion of a match we're playing in. And that's when you have the ability to really grow, when you can do that in your own practice gym. I have a lot of belief that the guys that play against the guys that will start in our practice gym every day could do very successful in this league if they were their own group. I really do believe that. So, and that makes us better every day.
Thank you, Coach, and congratulations again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.